friends. I'm your host, Dr. Dave Layton, and thank you for joining me in our journey to hope. It is my desire through this podcast to bring you information about how to discover, sustain, or perhaps regain hope. Well, in this episode, I'm joined by Dr. Jimmy Hodges. Dr. Hodges is the president of Calhoun Community College, Decatur, Alabama. Hello, Dr. Hodges.
Good morning, Dr. Layton. How are you, sir?
I wish you'd call me Dave.
I'm going to call you Dave.
Good. I've said it in other episodes. I kind of joke about it. The best thing about it was when I finished is I get to read books I want to, and I don't have to write any papers.
That's right. And I personally didn't want to read for a long time after that. Anything.
Yeah. All right. So as we begin this, tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
So my name's Jimmy Hodges, and I have the pleasure of serving as the president at the Calhoun Community College, which just happens to be the largest community college in the state. And we have around 8,800 students, and that varies from semester to semester. But I call us a comprehensive college. Wait a minute, you wanted me to tell you about me.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'm 62 years old, and I am absolutely living the dream. I think that everything that has happened in my life, God has used that to prepare me for the moment that I'm in right now.
Yes, sir.
And I have a wonderful wife that we just last September celebrated 40 years of marriage.
Wonderful.
And I actually met her at a drive-through window because I was a mama's boy and didn't know how to cook anything. So I knew every good-looking girl at every drive-through window, and asked her to marry me, and she did. And here we are 40 years later. We have 3 grown children that are, I like to say they're educated, employed, and married. And so I feel like that's a success strike on me and my wife. And then we have 7 grandchildren.
7, okay.
They call me Papa. And when they say Papa, Dave, I'm just ready to go spend some money.
That's it.
And my Carly Jane is 13 and a half.
Okay.
She's the oldest. And then I have a Peyton, which is about to be 3. And there's 4 girls and 3 boys. And I'm going to tell you, my nights, days, and weekends surround those young people. They all live real close to me. We kind of live out in the country, and they like to go hiking in the woods back behind my house.
Okay.
And so, but I started off my career as a machinist. I went to school down at Wallace State and became a machinist. Worked up here in Huntsville area for a number of years building space shuttle parts and Tomahawk cruise missiles. And in 2000, I got a phone call, and it was the technical school that I had gone to as a teenager, and the drafting instructor had retired, and they asked me if I'd be interested in teaching drafting.
Okay.
I hope I'm not going into depth.
No, that's fine. How many years total?
And so I started in 2000 in education.
Okay.
And I taught 9 years of high school drafting, 3D modeling, and all those kinds of things. Absolutely loved it. Got a call one day and they said, hey, we need somebody down here at Wallace State. And I was driving 7 miles to my house to work. And that drive to Huntsville was 70 miles one way. I said, man, y'all got to be crazy.
Wow.
But I went down there. I felt like the Lord spoke to me that this was the next step. And so I was there at Wallace Huntsville for 11 years. And then thankfully, Chancellor Baker asked me if I would be interested in doing a regional workforce thing and for the system office. And so I did that for about a year. And then he called me up one day and said, hey, I need you to go to Calhoun. And so I've been here. June 1st will be 3 years.
Okay.
And it is absolutely everything that I ever dreamed that it would be. And we have opportunity to change lives every day, Dave.
Yes, sir.
That's what we do in a community college is we change lives.
You do. And that's why I thought it was great to have you as a host, or excuse me, as a guest on this, because of that element of it. And I'm glad you went into the detail that you did, because folks can see there's a progression. You're not stuck in something. You can move on.
You know, I always say that I admire young people who know exactly what they want to do, and they go and get all that education right up front, and then they spend their whole career working. I call myself a work in progress.
There we go.
Because I graduated with an associate degree, went into the workforce, started teaching, had to go back and get a BS degree. And then when I got my BS degree, I said, well, I kind of like this, and went on to Athens State and got left Athens State, went to the University of Alabama and got a master's degree, and then an educational specialist degree, and then finished my doctorate, and I'm finished with school.
Yeah.
As far as me attending, but I'll always be a lifelong learner.
Oh yeah.
And the things that are exciting here, and I don't want to get off into your questions here too much.
That's fine.
Maybe I should be quiet.
No. You keep on going. You are doing a great job.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, I think, George Wallace created the community college system. There's 24 community colleges scattered all over the state.
Last time I counted, we had 85 campuses, but that's been a number of years ago. I don't know what it is now.
I believe you're pretty on target.
Pretty close? Okay.
Yeah. And, every one of them, we are what we say we are. We're a community college, and so we should reflect that community. Up here in Huntsville, it's the fastest growing city in the state. It's the largest city. I've got 3 major cities, Dave, that I have to deal with: mayors, city councils, county commissioners. We've got Limestone County, Madison County, and Morgan County. I've got the city of Decatur, city of Athens, and the city of Huntsville. And it's so exciting. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. The unemployment rate is less than 2%. I don't know exactly what it is. But so if they want a job, individuals want a job, they've got one. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to recruit those people that are not actually in the work world, and help them to. A lot of times people don't know that they have a knack for something. And so we try to help people discover their skill sets and things that they enjoy doing. I was just over here across the street earlier this week, and we had about 20 students from the city of Decatur, Austin High School and Decatur High School. And there was about 20 of them over there, and we were teaching a skid steer class.
Okay.
And so this is part of the thing that we're doing with the Innovation Center, where they have all of their theory work online. And so they spent, I don't know, a day on the computer going through all this theory and simulators of how to drive a skid steer. And then we brought them out here to a parking lot and had dirt out there and had 4 skid steers there. And those young people were so excited, and they were moving dirt. And I said, guys, what about this? You get to play in dirt and make money. And so, those young people right there are learning that they may have a skill. Yeah. And if you drive around this area here, there's all kinds of construction going on. So it's a good thing.
Well, you and I have known each other since you were working there at Hansville.
Well, even before then, I knew you when I was in the K-12.
Well, okay. My memory didn't go back that far. Sorry. That was saying I was all over the state, so there were a lot of folks. But I always enjoyed it when you were at Wallace Hansville, because I'd go up there and you had exciting programs. I remember when you put together that green house, the one that had the water.
Yeah, it had all kinds of green energy.
Yeah.
It had a solar water heater. Right. A solar water panel up on the roof. It had solar panels that fed back into the grid.
Hydroponics, is that what they? No.
And there was a hydroponics part of that also, but it had geothermal wells out there that the HVAC worked through. It had before everybody had LED lights. It had LED lights in it. It was situated in such a way so that in the wintertime, that at 12 noon, it would have the maximum amount of sun shining on the longest side of the house, so that it would naturally heat the house.
And it was so well insulated, and all, you would walk in it and it felt like you were in a soundproof area. It was so well insulated.
Spray foam insulation. And you're right. And at a point of time there, we didn't even have the heating and air running in it, and it was always comfortable in there.
And so you moved from Hansville here to Calhoun, and Calhoun has always been one of my favorite schools, because not just the size, but again, there were so many great programs going on. The 3D printing, I remember that was a big program for a while. And then the robotics center, that was a huge footprint and all of that. One of the things that the community college does, and again, Calhoun's been a big leader on that, is the flexibility that the community college system offers somebody. Somebody might say, well, I don't have the time to go for a full associate's degree. They can come for a semester and get a credential get a job. And then you mentioned lifelong learner, then keep on going. And the great thing I always liked about it, and I want you to talk, not necessarily me, but was I can come to this. There's grant money. There's all kinds of money available for me to get education. I don't have to go in and get thousands of dollars in debt for some of the traditional bachelor's programs. I can get out, get a job making wonderful money. And then I'm debt free and can continue getting my education.
And you know, Dave, we have started something. I don't know. I'm sure you're aware of it, but I don't know that we were doing it when you were still at the system office. But we have a lot of what we call earn and learn programs, to where a student can come, like you said. We do this in our automotive program all day long. We do it in our industrial maintenance program. We do it in a lot of different programs, but they will come for maybe a semester and get enough skill that they can get a job. And then they will, that employer will let them come to school on Tuesdays and Thursdays and then work Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and maybe even on the weekend. And they earn, and then a lot of times that employer will even pay their tuition while they're going to school.
Right.
And so they're earning and learning, because most of our students need to work. I mean, they're in a situation.
They're adult learners, adult students. They've got families. And
if you go down here to our automotive program at night, after they go through about a semester down there, they'll get a job. If you go down there tonight, let's just say we stop by there around 6 o'clock this evening, there'll be 25 to 30 young people in there. They'll have the local Toyota dealerships logo on there. They'll have the local Land Rover, BMW, Chevrolet, Ford, you name it. That Honda. They'll be down there, and I'll go in there and I'll say, well, what'd you do today? You know, and they'll have put brakes on a car, or maybe put tires on a car or whatever. And their company is paying for them to go to school, and they're working all day long and coming to school at night. And it is changing those young people's lives, and older people. I mean, you'll have some older folks down there.
Yeah.
And maybe somebody retired and realized they retired a little too early, and they got a lot of time on their hands, and they'll come back and start a whole nother career, you know. But our FAME program up here is a real good example. FAME stands for Federation of Advanced Manufacturing and Education.
Okay.
And it's an industrial maintenance program. And we have bidding wars for employees through that. We'll get a whole selection. We'll take applications. And then, like say, maybe in July, they'll start reviewing the applications. Well, all of these employers come sit at a table, and it's just like the draft at the NFL. They'll interview every one of those individuals, and it may be a 45-year-old man or a 22-year-old young lady or whatever it happens to be. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Yeah. And they will interview them. All of the employers in the room interviewing those folks. And then they'll say, well, this one here stuck out to me. I want to make a job offer to this one. Yeah. And then another company said, well, I like this one. And so then they actually call them back in and offer them the job right there on the spot. And then they spend the next 2 years working 3 days a week and come to school 2 days a week.
And again, and by the way, Jimmy, I love the passion in your voice, my friend. It is great.
Well, it's in there, and I can't help
it.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, again, this podcast is about helping people discover, sustain, or regain hope. And you kind of alluded to it. If somebody retired early, or they've been laid off a job or something else like that, it's not the end of the line. There are all kinds of opportunities. And so when they come to a school like Calhoun that has such a variety of programs, flexibility and delivery systems, by the way, whether they're online or in the lab and these sorts of things, it's there. It takes the initiative to take that step.
Well, let me tell you about this young lady I met the other day.
Yeah.
She had when she graduated from high school, her parents had really poor health, and so she never went on to college.
Okay.
And she had stayed taking care of her parents. She was the primary caregiver.
Well, appreciate her doing that.
Absolutely. Yeah. But then they both passed away, and then she found herself with what she thought no skills.
But you know what? Okay, I'll address that just a second. All right, she didn't go get further education, but she obviously demonstrated some of the characteristics of somebody who can be successful in a program like this. She stuck with it.
That's right.
She had that compassion and that passion to care for somebody. So she's got the core characteristics of somebody who can be very, very successful.
So guess what she decided she wanted to be?
Okay, I would think health sciences.
She wants to be a nurse.
Yeah, okay, that would have been my decision.
And did she know that God was going to help her find her way by taking care of her parents? But he did. And then she's here now in school, in nursing school. And you know something else that we do now, Dave, that you would have never dreamed of? We have apprenticeships in nursing.
Oh, no, never heard of that.
We were the first school in the state
never
to have
heard of
a
that.
registered apprenticeship in nursing. And we have them over here at Decatur, Morgan, at Huntsville Hospital, Athens,
Limestone. You know, as an educator, that's so important. And that's another thing about the community college. You're not just sitting in a classroom learning theory. It's hands-on. You mentioned about the kids running the skid steers. That's some of the things I loved about it. You're going to do it.
Yes, you are.
So when you do go out and get employed, you're coming as an experienced learner.
That's right.
Experienced
So
employee.
think about this, because, you know, you know from your experience with a community college, a person has to get all of their academics behind them before they can even apply to most of the medical programs. And then they apply to the medical program, and it is all consuming for the next 2 years. Yeah. And then they get out and they will do some practical experience out working in the hospitals. And they don't get paid for any of that. In this nursing apprenticeship, the young person or old person or whatever it happens to be is hired day one with the hospital.
Okay.
They start coming to classes on certain days and working other days, just like I mentioned a while ago, earn and learn. And they are actually getting on-the-job experience and getting paid an hourly wage while they're doing it. So when they get through in 2 years, not only will they have 2 years of experience, but they will have completed their degree, and they'll have a Department of Labor registered nurse card.
Right.
And that's paid for all along by this company. So,
well, I'm going to tell you, the nurse that was my primary nurse that took care of me when I was going through a year of cancer treatment, Brentley Green is her name. She is a graduate of Wallace Community College in Selma. And I will put Brentley against anybody. She was incredible. And in fact, as I would be in the chair getting treatment, I'm watching Brentley. Other nurses are coming to her and asking her questions and getting advice and things. And so, and she is one of the trainers and all of that. So where I'm going with that is some people think, well, I've got to go to a 4-year institution, or I've got to go to some of these other places like that. But the 2-year college system gives you an incredible nursing program. And I know that for a fact because I helped write the curriculum years ago. So it's a good program. And I get a thrill. I always ask nurses when I'm in treatment or whatever, where'd you get your education at? Where'd you get your education? I want to know. Even barbers and plumbers, I always ask them, where'd you get your schooling at? Right. And so many of them have come through a community college program.
Well, and you know, our graduates sit for the same registry exam that the 4 years.
Sure do. That NCLEX test.
That's right. And by the way, our pass rate just went up. I think it was to 98%.
Okay, great.
This past year. But I want to tell you about another partnership that we've got with Athens State, because now our nursing students can also dually enroll with Athens State and earn a BSN from Athens State right here at the same time they're earning their associate's degree. And
and by the way, you have high school programs that are dual enrolled also, so you're able to feed that whole system.
That's right. That's exactly right. And as a matter of fact, we have over 1,600 students in our dual enrollment program. We're one of the largest ones in the state. And you know, Dave, we do something a little bit different. We will take, like in our automotive program, maybe the local career tech center can't afford to hire an automotive teacher. Well, we have got an automotive teacher, and that's all he does is go around to these area career tech centers and teaches their automotive programs for us. And so therefore they are duly enrolled with our credentialed instructor.
Yeah. One of the main things I wanted to talk about you have been addressing so well is about how the system is flexible. And you can almost tailor a program for what it is that you want to meet. I'm sure when they sit down with a counselor, you know, here's my interest, or I'm not sure what my interests are, and they can help them chart a pathway forward. And again, that helps them to sustain and discover that hope that they may have thought wasn't there. Let me ask a couple of other. I sent an article to your secretary a while back that I found fascinating. I can't remember it exactly, but in that particular research article, it was written back in 2002, and it says that they have discovered, the scholars, that hopefulness that's felt by students is a strong predictor of future academic success. And so again, I want to go back to what you offer the students. I'm doing this hands-on, and I see I can do this. I can learn this. Somebody says, I've never operated a skid steer. I've never worked in a health science environment, but they, through the apprentice program, through the FAME program, so many of the other ones, early on, they're getting their hands on and they can see that. So now I say, wait a minute, I can do this. And so that helps them journey towards success.
Well, I think the community college is a dealer in hope.
Oh, I like that.
We're a dealer in hope because that's what we offer folks. We offer them an opportunity to expand their skill set. People who didn't think that they could do something, they find hope in what they are doing. And, I remember this young lady we met one time, and she was in our welding program, and she was probably 35, 40 years old. And I said, well, what have you done in your life up until this point? And she had been an editor of a newspaper.
Okay.
And so she was a writer, and she knew how to do all those things, and just one day woke up and said, I want to do something different.
Okay.
Came to the community college, enrolled in welding. Don't even know why she did that, but she became an outstanding certified welder and works for a company down in Birmingham that builds these bucket trucks. And and then she wrote an article about her welding experience, and it got published in a magazine. And so, we help people find themselves. We help them find opportunities. We like to call ourselves connectors because we're going to connect an employer with a good employee that has some skills. And, hope is, if you don't have hope, you're in a really sad situation.
Absolutely.
And if you're out there right now listening to this and you are in a depressed state, or you don't feel up to your best, you need to go to your local community college and find out what is going on there, because these places are the most exciting places in the state. You mentioned Selma a while ago. I was down at Wallace Community College in Selma not long ago, and that city has suffered a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of industry has left. Then a few years ago, they had a tornado come through, and it kind of devastated. But I'm going to tell you, Dr. Mitchell and that Wallace Selma group is a beacon of hope in that community. If it was not for that community college there, it would be a really sad thing.
Yeah.
But Dr. Mitchell's done a great job. A lot of our presidents have done great jobs.
One of the things I really appreciated that I got to do in my work with career and tech in the system was I got to visit all the colleges and got to meet the presidents. And you use the expression dealer of hope, and I really like that. I tell people we're in the hope business. So I'm gonna kind of combine those moving forward from here.
You take it, do whatever you want to with it.
That's good stuff.
But I'm going to tell you, when you have young people come into your classroom and they don't know what they're going to do, they may be hungry. There's a lot of food insecurities on our campus, and I'm working to try to fix that. I'm going to build a grill and a little meat and three kind of a buffet. We don't have any food on this campus, but we're going to get that, because you got to have your belly full before you can get your head full.
Yes, sir.
And I love seeing young people gain hope. Maybe they have not felt good about themselves. Maybe they weren't an athlete. Maybe they weren't an academic person, but they're out here now doing something that is being a productive member of society. And that's what we do at Calhoun Community College, is we offer hope.
Yeah. One of my favorite colleges in our 2-year system is Trenum Tech, the prison college, because I've been out there and interacted with the students. And when you see that light turn on, they're not going to be coming back.
That's right.
They're not going to be in trouble. They're going to be out. You use the expression productive citizens.
Yeah.
So you see that. And so it's just such a wide range of folks like that. And so, I've just always appreciated Calhoun. It's a fun place to be. And I go way back, Bethany Clem and some of the others, from years ago. And it was just always
Dr.
fun.
Beck.
Yeah. always fun to come up here and visit and see things that are going on.
Well, I always say God only sends me the best, and I have some of the best employees that you could ever ask for.
Yeah.
And you see this nice facility we're sitting in here. This was not built by me. I just inherited it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you,
I've actually written a lot of curriculum in this building with the nurses and the other health sciences folks.
Well,
and over in the
health science building, yes.
So the building over there, the technology,
the ATC, Advanced Training Center.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen it or not, but we have a new expansion going on over there.
No, I haven't. Okay.
Dave Layton, 57,000 square foot of advanced manufacturing space, brand new, being built right now. I am beside myself. You talk about a place of hope. That energized my hope that of all the young people and old people that are going to come through there and gain skills.
Do you have activities during the year? I'm assuming you do, where you'll have like a high school day, or you'll have tours of the facilities. So if somebody was interested in thinking about it, they could come up here.
Absolutely. They can go on the website, calhoun.edu, and we are constantly having career fairs, job fairs, high school tours, counselors on campus. And let me just tell you, if you're out there and you're in our area, or if you're not in our area and you want a tour, you just call our number and somebody will help you set up a personal tour.
And this is a wonderful part of the state of Alabama anyway. You've got Decatur, Huntsville, Athens. Again, you mentioned them. That just this region is an exciting area. There's lots going on, lots to do, lots of job opportunities, all sorts of things.
I've got a young man that I'm thinking of right this minute that is an African-American young man. He's in our machine tool program, and he just got a job at Blue Origin. Now, this young man is probably 19, 20 years old and building rocket engines and learning his skill here at Calhoun.
Okay. All right. Man, we could go on for a long time.
We sure could.
This is good.
It's good to see you.
Well, Jimmy, again, you and I have been friends for many years, and it's been great. Well, let me wrap up here a little bit, and I appreciate your time, because I know you are a busy man as the president. You've always been a busy man. I've never seen you sitting still.
Well, there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And we just
it's good work.
After it. It is good work, and we help people.
Yeah, absolutely. You bring folks hope. All right. Well, friends, thank you for joining me as together we journey to hope. Again, Jimmy, thank you
for
your time and everything. And again, our intent is to encourage you to discover, sustain, or regain hope. And part of that is learning skills to move forward in life, achieve our dreams and our goals. Well, I invite you to contact me if you have any questions or comments, or if you wish to share with me something you've experienced in your journey to hope. My email is ourjourneytohope@gmail.com. That's ourjourney and the number 2, hope@gmail.com. And please share this podcast with someone whose hope is being challenged. I look forward to sharing more with you soon. Again, I'm Dr. Dave Layton, and thank you for listening. And until our next episode, remember, we give all glory to God our Father.